Alrighty, we're at Economics Unit 1. Remember, economics is exciting. You always got to have that motto to get through this because it's easy. Alright, let's take a look at some definitions real quick on what they are. The first definition is, with economics, you got to look at first, what is economics? And there's going to be two types of economics that we're going to look at. But economics as itself is the study of the choices that people make to satisfy their needs and wants. And I underlined certain words and made them bold because those are very important. People have, or we as a society have, unlimited needs and wants, but we don't have the resources to meet that. So it's very important to understand the choices that people make, people, countries, to satisfy their needs and wants. So that's what economics is. There's two types of economics. There's microeconomics, which is the study of choices made by economic actors, such as households, companies, and individual markets. Small. That's the focus of our first unit, first couple units. Then you have macroeconomics, which examines the behavior of entire economies. An example I gave you is U.S. fiscal policy and monetary policy. So you're looking at whole economies in macro, small economies like you and I in micro. Okay, so that's what the two definitions of economics are. Now we're going to start to focus on the micro aspect of things. And we're going to look at, again, the choices to satisfy needs and wants. So the biggest problem facing economics today is going to be scarcity. And like it says here, the most basic problem in economics because it forces people to make decisions about how to use resources effectively. Our resources are not unlimited. And so that's why scarcity is the biggest problem facing economics today. And when you look at scarcity, there's this term, it's called allocation. And allocation, like it says here, is when you distribute resources. And I put there FOP, which means the factors of production, to satisfy the greatest number of needs and wants. So that's what countries and individuals try to do. How do you allocate scarce resources? And that's the big question there. So the second one is, let's take a look at what the factors of production are. And the factors of production, the first factor of production is land, which is called natural resources. Very important. I'm making it bold because it's extremely important. Natural resources, there's renewable and non-renewable natural resources. What are those renewable and non-renewable natural resources? Renewable are things you can plant, regrow, like water and trees. Non-renewable are the most valuable, petroleum, gold, diamonds, and things of this nature, that when they're gone, they're gone. And so these are really scarce. Then you have labor, which is human resources. And with human resources, you have skilled and unskilled labor. And we also allocate our labor to other countries. But so labor, you have human resources, skilled and unskilled. Then you have capital, which is money and or the factories and machines. Anything to use to make your product is called capital. Capital is also known as money. So again, these are the factors of production. These are the things that are scarce for individuals, companies, and countries. And the next one is what makes the whole cycle go around, and that is what's called an entrepreneur or risk taker, small business owners. Every company starts as a small business for the most part, and then they grow into what we know as today. There's this thing called liability, though, and that's called responsibility for your company, and that's what entrepreneurs have. It's a great thing, and it can be a negative thing as well. Negative in the sense of you're responsible for anything your company does, and so if somehow your company hurts somebody, they sue you. If something happens with your company, you're the one responsible, but you're also your own boss. So these are the factors of production. These are the things that can be scarce. These are the things that force people to make decisions to satisfy needs and wants. And we're usually deciding how to allocate all these resources here. Okay? So then you got to look at the economic questions. And again, it goes back to how are you going to allocate those resources. So first you got to think about what to produce. You got to think about what are we going to make, basically. Think about, okay, we're going to build a new school. Well, how do you produce that? How do you choose the material and the method to build that school? And for whom to produce? How are you going to distribute those goods? Who are you going to make the school for? What's your population? What's your target? So every society, every individual's got to, when you're looking at those factors of production, how do you take those resources and what do you do with them? Well, you're always asking what to do, how to do it, and for whom. Again, macro, that's not as an easy a question. Micro, it's easier. Then the next one you have is when you're looking at these resources and these questions, you're going to always have to sacrifice something for another. And in economics terms, it's called opportunity cost. And the value of the next best alternative given to obtain an item. It's big here. It's a trade-off. One good is sacrificed for another. One good sacrificed for another. You have two things. Do I study or do I go socialize with my friends? If I socialize with my friends and I don't study on the test the next day, you're not going to do so well. If I socialize with my friends, I'm sacrificing studying. But if I study, I sacrifice socializing with my friends, I will do well the next day. You can't typically do both. So that's what opportunity cost means. You're trading one of the resources or something for another. And that brings us to the production possibilities curve, because this is how you graph in economics the opportunity cost. And this shows all the possible combinations of two goods and services that can be produced within a stated time period, given four important assumptions. So we're looking at, again, those resources. You have that opportunity cost. And how do you apply opportunity cost to economics? It's on the production possibilities curve. There are four assumptions of the production possibilities curve. You have two choices. And with those two choices, how are you going to efficiently, or what's also known as full employment, produce those goods and services? And also with the production possibilities curve, you are looking at, you have fixed technology and fixed resources. You have fixed technology and fixed resources. Let me show you something here. I drew it for you. There's the four assumptions. Let me show you the production possibilities curve. If I could open this. And here you go. Let me rotate it. This is what the production possibilities curve looks like. It won't let me rotate, of course not, because that's too easy. Mama. But anyway, if you look at it, you have consumer goods, capital goods, and a zero. I'll draw it on the board for you in class today. I'll try to rotate this. It just won't let me. Let me see. View. No. I can't do that. View. View. Let me see. Rotate left. Rotate right. View. Unlock. Sorry about this. It's just taking me a while. We'll stop it here.